What's up, guys? This is Shamanic Mick, and this time I, of course, did a Shamanic Dreaming session with a particular question. And this time I was really wondering, since the press conference was yesterday and new measurements, new lockdown, new fucked up situations regarding Corona, and I was just curious what the dream world had to say about this, So I grabbed my drum and I started drumming to get myself into the trance state. And I visualized the cave, the crystal cave. Get into the cave, walk past the carvings on the wall, down the stairs, towards the underground river, where of course the seahorse appears. So I asked my seahorse, yo, seahorse, what the fuck is up with this Corona situation? I mean, seriously. So I jump on his back and he takes me into the water and we move towards an island with a very big tree. A very big tree. This is like a tree with a face, And it was radiating wisdom. There was a sun above the tree shining light on the tree. And the tree was catching light with the leaves. So the light was being absorbed through the leaves, giving the light kind of vibe to the tree. And there were ants all around the branches, licking the light of the leaves, becoming also light. But then there was an army of caterpillars. An army of caterpillars that was entering war against the ants because they wanted to eat the leaves. That's what I do. The caterpillars eat the leaves. So what I could see is that the tree was happy with the ants because the ants were protecting the tree from the caterpillars. But then the caterpillars were winning the war. So there was like a very loud gong. Boom. And the tree released the bats. So the bats started flying and they started attacking everything, all of it. Caterpillars, ants, attacking everyone. So it was like a fucking crazy war. So like ants fighting caterpillars, caterpillars fighting ants, and bats fighting everyone. And it was just one super heavy, chaotic situation. And the interesting thing is that every time a caterpillar and an ant were fighting each other, the bat that was attacking them doubled. So the more fighting, the more war between the caterpillars and the ants, the more bats there were attacking everybody. So the interesting thing was, at a certain point, the caterpillars and the ants were making peace with each other. And when they were making peace, both of them were putting their direction to the bats. And they started fighting the bats, all of them. And the interesting thing is that when a caterpillar beat a bat, it turned into a butterfly. But it was kind of a technological butterfly. And this technological butterfly flied up to the sun, melted together with the sun, and shined a little bit brighter on the tree, and it started to become more alive. So this was the vision. So now I had to think about my interpretation, and I've made this metaphor before. What you see in nature, in the jungle in Peru, there was this tree, and this tree, he needs lots of light to survive, to grow. But the caterpillars are like parasites. They eat the leaves. So the tree, eventually will die because of the caterpillars. So the tree, as a small trick, it produces a healthy layer of sweetness to attract ants. So the ants come and they lick off the sweetness from the leaves, and they protect the tree from the caterpillars because they want to protect their source of nutrients. So the tree and the ants have a symbiotic relationship, and the caterpillars are the parasites in this dynamic which is actually happening in the jungle. But there's a constant war between caterpillars and ants. So as soon as the caterpillars win the war from the ants, the thing that happens is the tree has to go for plan B. Plan B is, instead of producing a healthy layer of sweetness filled with vitamins and nutrients, it starts to produce poison massively. And a lot of caterpillars die, a lot of ants die, but it gives an opportunity for things to get back in balance. So who is the ant and who is the caterpillar in this symbolic representation, in this metaphor, in this message? If you would look at the indigenous tribes, being the ants living in symbiotic relationship with nature, then our Western world would be the caterpillars, because we are like parasites, you know, we destroy, we take, we evolve, we conquer, and we use everything for nature to grow ourselves, to gain ourselves. So usually it's very clear to me what the metaphors in my shamanic dreaming sessions mean, but this time I need you guys to figure this out because I don't understand. So I can follow most of it. So the indigenous cultures live in balance with nature. So this is like the ants living in balance, in symbiotic relationship with the tree. Yes, okay, Western world comes, parasites, you know, the caterpillars come and they eat the leaves. That's what we do. We fuck up rainforest, we destroy the environment, we are the parasites. And I think the bat, of course, symbolizes the coronavirus that maybe gets released by the tree, because the parasites are winning the war, just like the tree in the jungle does, starts to produce poison because the parasites are taking control over the totality, you know. So if this is a natural phenomenon, maybe it's a little bit far-fetched, but it's still a metaphor. But let's say, okay, the world, nature, is dominated by parasites, and therefore to maintain balance it has to release something to get things back in balance, which could be the coronavirus, which is in my shamanic dreaming session symbolized as a bat. So if we're still here, if we still follow, every time an ant and a caterpillar are in war with each other, which maybe symbolizes the two sides, there's very much polarization. It's like almost like a psychological civil war, this side against that side. But every time they, in the vision, they fight each other, the bat gets doubled. What I can see is, as soon as we stop fighting each other and start looking at the bats and start, the bats, if we start fighting them, that would be beneficial for everybody. If we just focus on fighting this virus in whatever is the best at this moment. I don't know, I'm not an expert at this. So it's very clear that the message is that we shouldn't be fighting each other. That's number one. So second is, as soon as we fight the virus or fight the bat, then the caterpillars, which are Westerners maybe, turn into technological butterflies, which I don't know what it means. Maybe it's some new technology. And the technological butterflies merge with the sun, which start radiating more bright and shine light on the tree, which becomes more alive. So what I don't understand, if this metaphor would mean what it means, what I don't understand, what I do not see, is what kind of technology could possibly come from Westerners fighting corona that would eventually lead to the healing of nature or the benefit of nature. I don't understand. So if you guys can still follow this, I really need your help. I'm really curious to whatever you guys, maybe we can figure this out. I think it's a fun kind of thing to do. So I'll see you guys in the next video or in the comment section where we will brainstorm about this strange metaphor I've got yesterday in my shamanic dreaming session. Later guys.